to just change everything as you know it.
Yeah.
So and Aaron came on and we talked about it, and then the interesting thing is that my husband out of nowhere says, "Hey, you know what? I'd really love to do a juice cleanse." And I said, "Well, we have to do it with Aaron then." And so we last week, leading up to I think today, and then is the end of it today. Yeah, no, Sunday's the end of it. We actually did a
Today is Sunday.
Okay, today. So we did a 3-day full juice cleanse, which was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
And we stuck to it. Like, we actually did the full thing. The only thing we did was had, like, a few nuts and a few, like, just lettuce and cucumber salads.
And that's what I always suggest to people as well.
Yeah, and it was like at the end of the first day and the second day, and we were just like, oh, you know when you like really need something because you're like, I don't feel really right, and it's just like a little bit of chewing, a little something in your stomach, but the juices are actually really filling.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is that your energy is through the roof. That's the crazy part. So, Aaron, welcome back to the Simple Kitchen.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So, talk to us. Tell us what you want to say about what you do, and and why people should do this.
Well, I've dubbed it since I was last on the show. I kind of dubbed the juice as a like a gateway drug, right?
Yeah.
Actually, like a gateway juice. So it's a gateway into a healthier lifestyle. I know when I first started, one of the things I dropped initially was soda. And I wasn't looking to do that. It just happened because I didn't crave it anymore. So along with that, of course, I started eating healthier, much healthier than I had been. And so it's just doing these little things, a lot of little things. And that's what I speak to people a lot about. Because if you think about just changing your whole entire diet, going from all this stuff that they engineer for us to like, and we do like and love it, to, just some lettuce and some kale and, maybe a protein with it. It's like, oh, it's boring. So get a little juice in, start to change the taste, because your palate's going to change. The way food tastes will start to change to you. And a big one is a lot of times these sweets that we eat, since our palate is kind of dull, those sweets come in and we process them. But once you kind of clear up your palate a little bit and detox, and you'll find, you go back to some of those things and you'll find that they are like 3-4 times as sweet as before when you was in that zone normally. So I just view it as a gateway, and it opens you up. It allows, so one of the big things that a lot of people will ask, they'll talk about a smoothie and the fiber in it. Well, we consume fiber in direct food. We don't have to actually get it in a smoothie. You can. Of course, smoothies are great. I wouldn't say that they're not, but there's no fiber in soda when people drink soda. There's no fiber in coffee when people drink coffee. But when it comes to juice, which is literally one of the healthiest beverages on the planet, they want to talk about fiber. But the big thing is when you do juice, there is no fiber, so it allows your digestive tract to take a break and to actually repair and heal anything that may be going on in your gut that you don't know about. Because generally the digestive tract is actually processing food. It's constantly working, passing food through, breaking it down, passing food through. When it gets to take that break, it gets to turn around and say, hey, okay, nothing's coming in the pipe, down the pipe here, so I'll turn around and repair these intestinal walls here. And they do a little patch up work, some painting, whatever needs to be done in there that we, again, can't see. Exactly.
We learned a little bit about that when we learned a little bit about bone broth and gut health and things like that. Are you a fan of bone broth?
That is a friend of mine. I'll tell you why. Oh my goodness. So you were just talking about all those cookies and pies, and you said you may get something else. And I know what that something else might be. It might be Candida, Albicans.
Oh my gosh, and I had a friend who had that, and it's very bad.
Well, yeah, I did it to myself. So I guess it started about 9 months ago. I went and got a gym membership. I was working through lunch and wasn't eating lunch. And over about a 2-month period, I dropped like 10 pounds. And so I was like, ooh, I need to put this back on. So I went and got a gym membership, started working out. And instead of eating good proteins like I should have been, I started eating some of everything. Way too many cookies. Too many of the, they were bean and rice chips, right? So those are somewhat healthy chips, but still a lot of carbs. So I was consuming way too much sugar. bad sugar, and way too many carbs. And about 7 months ago, my stomach started bugging me, and it wasn't an IBS pain. It was totally different. I didn't know where it was coming from, and it took me about a good 3 weeks Googling and my symptoms and what was going on to find out, yeah, overgrowth, excuse me, overgrowth Candida. So, of course, we have Candida yeast.
Yeah, the yeast,
so,
right?
So it's a bad bacteria that we have in our gut because we have the good and the bad. And as long as we have our balance, we're fine. But once you overfeed, the Candida is an overgrowth of it, and then it becomes a fungus. And at that point, yeah, you can really be in trouble. You can really be in trouble.
I always wonder about that, and especially as adults. So I was one of the, and I still am, surprisingly, you may not believe this from how much stuff we eat on the air and stuff, but I'm one of those people who doesn't have much of a sweet tooth. Just never have. And I think it's just the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
You know, my mom would bake for us, and that would be kind of it. You know,
Yeah.
We didn't have candy. We didn't have it was just like a very, that, you know, we didn't have a lot of Kool-Aid or anything like that. So, yeah. So, exactly. So, not a lot of processed foods. And I think I just developed not much of a sweet tooth, and my brother is the same way.
Right.
So
right.
I don't, you know, it's like, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, you see something and it's so amazing and you eat it. But for me, like, that's good. Like, I'm probably won't need a sweet for several weeks after.
Right.
I love to bake, and generally what happens in our home is I will bake something and it will go bad. We actually won't eat it all.
Call me up.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a friend, or actually I worked with someone. I know two people. I worked with someone, and then I have a friend, and both of them had that same thing. And one of them, it was so bad, we thought that he had a heart attack. And we called the ambulance, and what it was is his had gotten so bad.
Wow.
And he had he actually was an extreme case of not taking care of his dietary needs.
Yeah.
So it's amazing, and as we age as well, just the balance that we need.
Right.
So was it the sugar was feeding the bad yeast?
Yeah, because sugar's feeding it. So it's like a 4-step process to really neutralize. So you want to stop feeding it. So you basically cut out all sugar, and then pretty much carbs as well, or at least the bad carbs. Then let's see, what was next? Okay, so cut out the sugar and the carbs. Then I went to garlic became my best friend. Mm-hmm. Garlic became my best friend. So I came up with this. I take like a cup of extra virgin olive oil. I put like 6 or 7 cloves of garlic in it, and what else? Oh, sea salt, and a little bit of lemon juice. And I would actually, and that's squeezed lemon juice, not like lemon juice in that bottle thingy. Right. And I would blend that in my Ninja. And I would take that and put that on literally everything I was eating. And Rachel was, garlic was fuming off of me for like weeks.
Yeah.
And I would approach people and I'd say, hey, I'm sure I probably smell like garlic, so just so you know.
I'm healing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm healing from the inside out. So it was the, again, no sugar, getting stuff to help combat and neutralize the Candida, to put it back in its natural state, naturally. Mm-hmm. Then I was also taking, I cannot remember the names of those pills. It was a type of supplement, again, that kind of restricted the growth to help kind of level the playing field, kind of wipe some of it out. Mm-hmm. Because when you're wiping out the bad bacteria, you're also wiping out some of the good, too.
Right.
And so I also threw a probiotic in there that I was taking, and bone broth.
Bone broth.
Yeah, and again, so the bone broth actually, because usually if you have an overgrowth of Candida like that, you're going to have some leaky gut going on. So when you have leaky gut, you have snares in your intestinal wall. So you want to plug that up, in bone broth. The collagen properties in the bone broth will help do that.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the juices and where you can get them. So we'll be back with more Simple Kitchen. Yeah, we loved it. It was so great to learn about bone broth, and we tasted it, and we both were like, this is amazing. And just learning what you were saying about our giving our body a break and just giving it all the nutrition that it needs without having to work.
Right. I'll tell you something else, that bone broth, that collagen, again, it helps rebuild the body. Actually, the Lakers, they have their dietitianist. She cooks bone broth for them in there at their facility, like in the kitchen, and puts it in these plastic bags and put them in the fridge for them. And Kobe Bryant swears by it. Yeah, swears by
It's
it.
my new favorite thing.
Um,
It really is.
Hard they are on their joints and things like that.
Right,
That's what
right,
needs to be
right.
resolved.
I have 3 jars. So what I do is I make it in my crock pot. I'll usually cook it for about a week. You got the bones. You put some what is it? Apple cider vinegar to help draw the nutrients out of the bones. Celery, almost like you're making a stew,
Yeah.
but there's no meat really, and then you just let it go for as long as you want on low, or you can be cooking on the on the pot as well. And when it starts to drop down some, you just add more water to it.
That's nice because it's like
Yeah. You don't have to cut it off when you leave home for 8 hours to go to work. And then you strain it and put some in the fridge. Lasts about a week. So then I put the other in the freezer. I even cook my rice with it, right? So when you take the rice, so it's supposed to be X amount of water. I'll use all of that, or at least half will be bone broth. And let that soak right into the rice. Eat the rice, still getting it.
What are you?
I need
What
to
bones
learn
are
how
you
to
using? Are you
make
just
my
putting
own.
like chicken in there?
You can use chicken bone, you can use any kind of bones, but so I did go buy a whole chicken one day and ate, we ate everything off of it, and then I left the bones and boiled them. But I go to like Butcher Boys and I get beef bones, grass-fed beef bones. Yeah, I mean you get a bag of them with like about 20 of them off in there. It's like $7. Yeah, and that's
I
stuff.
need to find a butcher.
That stuff is
You know,
gold.
there's more butchers than you think.
Yeah,
You
they're
just-
all around
yeah,
over here.
You don't. If
I
you're
think
not
there's.
looking
I
for
actually
them,
think there's one not too far from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, get those bones. And what I do, like for every bone that I put in there, I usually put in like 16 ounces of water. That's what I do. Now, if you want to cook it down to where it gels, then you can take like a teaspoon of that and put it in your soup. But I've never cooked mine down that thick. Yeah. I just don't find the need to. As long as I'm getting it, because you'll see, because the grease will come off of it too, so you get that good grease, the good fat from it. You'll see it. And sometimes I'll just sit and drink a little bit, just like you do tea. I'll drink about 4 ounces, put a couple of dashes of sea salt.
She had us drink it.
It was really
brought us
good. It was
as a cup.
lava hot, but it was good.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
burned my tongue.
Yeah, I know my first one, but we had a whole cup of it. It was
Oh, it was
great.
so good. Yeah.
We were just like,
Like I was gonna buy some from her website. It was so expensive.
well, it would probably make more sense for you just to do it yourself.
Yeah, just make it. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. I think it's
Right,
just-
exactly. You just want to
let
get
it
those
cook for a
minerals
few
and all that
days.
stuff out of there.
Information for your mom or dad. Then
Yeah.
call or go online to get the free helping
Trying to
tea
stay
during this
young,
turbulent
forever
time.
young, for real.
Exactly.
9719.
Trying, right?
That's 1-800-329-9719.
Rich and the Brazilian coffee farmer. I had a box from them here with coffee. No
Oh, nice. I'm gonna go back and see him. Augusto.
Augusto.
I'm gonna go back and see him. I want to go look and see, check his back operation. I'm taking some juice and see if I can't hang out and just look, learn.
Yeah.
Because at some point, one day, I'm gonna have some sort of shop, I believe. So I want to just get a good idea of the backside.
I
Not
think they
that.
know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so too. He's bagging back there too, because I know a guy in Vancouver. He doesn't roast, so he has to pay somebody else to go roast and bring it. Right? Yeah, so he's doing it right.
Yeah, and they have some pretty. That's a pretty good location too. It's got to be an expensive rent.
Yeah, well, he's on that. It's good being in the corner like that too. But yeah, like you say, in Pearl, that's a tough thing for me to get past.
It's expensive. Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a storefront yet?
No, I'm just delivering. And see that, and that's
No,
but that's
overhead.
right, and that's what I'm trying to base my model on. You know, you see the what is it, Dutch Bros? They have little, almost like a kiosk in the parking lot. You got double. So see, I plan to do something like that because I'm gonna need drive-through. I don't want a storefront where most 98% of my clientele are female. They usually have the kids. They don't want to get a car full of kids out. She's got the little one in the carrier thingy. It's raining. She can pull up and get it. So yeah, and I just have to wait out for that.
He delivers to my work. Just lets me know he's there, and I come out, grab my juice.
And here's the other thing. So with keeping the overhead low, I'm trying to do a delivery model and let that be the.
I think that's it. Yeah.
You're listening to Simple Kitchen with Missy Maki.
Welcome back to the Simple Kitchen. I'm your host, Missy Maki. I'm here in the studio with James Spooky. How you doing, Spook?
I'm doing great. I'm looking at these adult juices.
Adult juices?
Adult
I know,
juices.
we did get some adult juices today.
Look at how pretty that is. Look at that.
Oh, I know, and it's separated.
Yeah, exactly. Shake
I
it
love
up a little
that.
bit.
Yeah, you gotta
Now
give it a
it's not.
shake. Are you
Look
gonna
at that.
drink that?
Yeah, taste that. Yeah, I call it adult bev.
Adult Bev. It's an AB. See your way
Well,
into
what's
it.
great too is he's got a mark because one has half a shot and another one has a full shot.
Get after it, Spooky. Come on, man. It's Sunday. Okay, so so we're here with Aaron Barnes of Absolutely Juicy, and we were just talking. We were just actually talking about a health setback that he had that he, used. He used his knowledge and just some very interesting ways to nurse himself back to health. And he did it with food and with nutrition, and I love that. And I really believe that is the way that the world is starting to think again,
Yes.
as opposed to going to, I'm not saying don't go to the doctor, but I'm just saying let's not put pills on everything. You know what I mean? What do they say? There's treating the symptoms, or there's treating the problem.
Right.
Fixing the problem, or just treating the symptoms. And I watched this little video about a young boy who had, I believe, a form of epilepsy, and he was, by the time he was 3 or 4, he was on 52 medications or something, and then they had to wean him off of them. And and what he was using to come off of it was, and I won't lie, it was a medical marijuana thing. It was like the liquid form, but it was like getting him off of the medication was the bigger problem.
Right.
So, that's a, I don't know anything about any of that stuff, but it was very surprising to me, and being blessed with having a lot of health. I never went to the hospital until I delivered my twins at age 42. I'd never had a hospital visit. So to me, that's a clear blessing of health.
It is.
And so let's talk about your juices, and let's talk about why this is a good idea and how you think that our listeners would benefit from adding juices, or even doing a juice cleanse.
Oh, benefit. Again, as a whole, most of us are not consuming what we need to on a daily basis as far as fruits and vegetables go. And it's funny when you look at like the U.S. comparison to some other countries where we're kind of on the lower end of what they say we should consume daily. I look at some of the other countries, they're much higher. So it's funny, we'll shoot depending on what it is. So if we're at a job, right, if we're about to get a new job or take a new position or something, we want the highest pay possible. But it comes to like fruits and vegetables and stuff and our health, and then we try to, as long as I get the minimum now, just get by. Yeah. So it's just funny, this mentality that we have when it comes towards our own health.
Do you think it has to do with our health or our very weird relationship that we have with food? I think
weird relationship we have with food.
I think we have a skewed vision of what food is, and women are the worst. We're not the worst. It's what we've been taught.
Right.
Less is better, as opposed to what we should have been taught, which was, gobble up as much fresh things that come out of the ground as often as you possibly can.
Right.
And get exercise, and whatever version of you comes from that is the perfect version of you.
Right.
And you don't need to change that.
Right. Because if you're getting enough of that stuff in, your body's just going.
It will
it's going
naturally
to
be what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And we don't all look the same.
Right.
We simply don't. I just wish that we could, and I still have my moments where I'm like, oh, I wish I was, had this style of body. That's not my style of body, and I don't have really bad habits. So,
take what you got and be happy with it, and the world will see it.
Yeah.
The world will see it.
You're right.
Because you're going to have your own
glow.
glow.
Philosophical here.
Well, I think it's important. I mean,
you're absolutely 100%
food is a big part of it.
Correct.
It is.
It's just weird that we went.
We went there on the Juice Man. We went there on the Juice Man. So, say someone's just curious, right? And they're like, "So, Aaron, what do I do? What do I do?"
So even if you aren't, for those who do eat fairly healthy and you want to increase your health, juice will help you, because you figure if you take a 16-ounce bottle of say a green juice, a particular green juice, a lot of them, it depends, you're going to get like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 servings of vegetables and 1 serving of fruit in that one bottle. And so again, when you do consume it, digestive tract kind of takes a break, at least for that, for that interim to process that juice, and you get all the energy spike from it. And it's not a spike like coffee. I'm not speaking bad about coffee.
No,
I'm just saying
coffee.
you
Coffee
don't.
has
Yeah,
its place,
you don't spike up, but you do feel the energy, and it kind of just tapers back off. It's a natural thing that your body kind of
There's no
compensates.
crash.
Right. There's no crash.
So what I've been doing, just as just a hop in, your greens that I get from you that have the kale in them.
Right.
That's the first thing I do with my days. I go down, I have that there, and that is that a 16 ounce?
Yeah,
bottle?
16 ounce.
That's what I have in the morning now. Is
Outstanding.
I have one of those, and it's refreshing, and it quenches that first thirst. And I feel like I'm just pouring vitamins in myself. I'm telling you, you will literally feel 100% better if you do this. I can't even tell you.
There's a group of folks over at Dykeman Electrical. Woo woo.
Woo!
They listened to the show, and they contacted me about a week after being on, and so ever since, twice a week. Paul runs the shop, Nancy's in there, and so is Jim up front. They're always giving me good tidbits and turning me on to other people as far as business advice and things of that nature. So those are some great folks over there. And Paul listens to you all the time.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks. So no, I think you can do a cleanse. Like there's a million reasons to do a cleanse. I mean, you don't have to. You can just. This is also, in my opinion, this is a way to get yourself back online with your vitamins. Like if supplements are great and wonderful, and none of us probably are getting 100% of what we need, but. I'm telling you, like the green juice particularly, I really like those because I know I don't get enough of those items. But your carrot one, what is that one? It's like has carrot in it.
Which one? The Energizer? Oh, okay.
The
That's,
Energizer. That's it.
That's apple, pear, carrot, and lemon.
That one's fantastic. And that one's actually filling.
And
that's like a snack.
That's filling the
yeah.
And that's Maddie actually made that day. The young lady who works with me from time to time. So she actually made it that day.
That was good. Yeah, I was had to shake it a couple times on my way through because it's was
really
it will start
to...
rich. Yeah, I love that. I love seeing the separation of it.
Yeah, because there's some substance in it.
Yeah. So your juices are raw juices.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means?
So they're literally made right there so I make them in my cart. So they're literally made and put directly into the bottle. There's no pasteurization process. Mm-hmm. They aren't heated up. It's not, freezing it I don't think would be considered that, but there's nothing else done to it. It's not HPP'd because if you see it like in the store on the shelf, and it was raw prior to, so it's raw, they put it in a bottle, and then they HPP it where they hit it with, it's called, high pressure pascalization or pasteurization. Mm-hmm. Put it in the bottle, and they put in, I think, like these vats of cold water or something, and then they hit it with air pressure, and it kills some of the harmful, or I guess all of the harmful bacteria and maybe a little bit of the good, something like that. So, but none of that's done. So it is just straight raw. It's literally as if you took it and if you were to put it in your hands and wring it out over a bowl and then pour it from the bowl into a cup and drink it.
So say I have one of the juices and say I have the complimentary, how much vegetables that is in a bowl. Do you feel, it seems to me like my body is going to accept and pull in the juice a lot easier and not be as, not to, I don't know what the word is. It's not going to abuse it as much. Right.
It's not going to be as much work. So if you would, along the lines of what you're saying, if we took a 16-ounce bottle and set it there and we had a bowl of 2 big bowls of carrots, let's say 5 pounds, 5 pound bag.
We have to take a break really quick. So when we come back, we're going to explain what we're talking about.
We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back with more Simple Kitchen.
It's so funny you say that because my future father-in-law, he said, why would I want to juice that when I could eat all those carrots just stripped down to that one? I said, yeah, that's the beauty of it. And it took him a few months and he got past it. No, he juices now. Yeah. And he understands it now, but he was thinking of the waste. No, there is some, but you can take that and put it in carrot cake, make carrot cake muffins or whatever. Some of that stuff can still be used. But yeah, a lot of people they just don't see it. They see it as throwing this away. But no, you're getting. And the other thing I tell people, if you